Hello, my children. There is a woman who made a video saying that she needs me. I assume that she needs my help. The video is called I Need Jesus.
I need God. I am so lost and dragging my feet every day. And
I can help you. I know why people are lost today.
Trying to fight this fight that I know deep down I can't do without God. And I'm in this weird in between with God of a cross between New Age and I guess what people might call Christianity. I don't really want to put labels on it, but
as we can read in Matthew 12:36, thou shalt not worship anything besides nature.
I thought God was this powerful force in the universe, and what people in religion called God or Allah or universe or source or creator or whatever anyone called it, I thought it was all the same thing, and it didn't matter what anyone called it. If anything, I thought people who called it, who weren't seeing it as like source or the universe, were the people who weren't really getting it. But in reality, I see now it's actually me who wasn't really getting it. It actually is God, Jesus, God, not just God as in this force. I thought people were wrong for putting it onto this like identity of Jesus and God in the form of Jesus. I still don't really know the proper terms to use for this.
What she's saying is that she feels like Christians are right, that there is an actual human, or there used to be a human, who is God. And if people talk about Allah, other gods, or the source and whatnot, then it's not actually correct, because it's actually specifically Jesus. I wonder if she will actually explain what she means by this.
And sorry, that's my washing machine. It's probably pretty loud. I just need God, and I'm trying to connect with Him the best that I can.
I have an email address, also a Telegram channel. There's a lot of ways to contact me. You can also just comment on this video.
I'm just so lost. And so earlier this year I had...
The reason you're lost, my child, is because you do not eat what humans are naturally supposed to eat. Matthew 16:27. Thou shalt only eat natural food. Bread used to mean meat back in the day. Most people don't know this, which is why in the book, when they talk about bread, they are talking about raw meat actually, and wine meant blood. They were all consuming raw meat and blood. They started calling grain sludge bread pretty recently, really.
And God actually is that identity that people portray God to have. Even though I thought that was silly before, it just started to feel right. There was no one influencing this on me. I wasn't seeking out this information. I was just existing, and it was just coming to me. It just started to feel wrong. My present beliefs of putting everything onto the universe didn't seem right anymore. Putting everything onto source, it seemed like there really was a God, and I was getting all conflicted and thinking to myself, God, if you, God, Jesus, God, are real and you're who I'm supposed to be praying to, because I was really struggling, like, can you show me or tell me? Or I don't really remember, because I wasn't trying to memorize this moment, because it ended up being really important, but I had some sort of asking of God to...
Yes. We all know how Jesus talks to people. You want Jesus to show you a sign, then you're walking down the street and you see the letter J, this man-made symbol with no natural meaning, and then you know that Jesus is reaching out to you. I really love these stories of how people find Jesus. They are so inspiring.
Show me what is right, because I don't know.
Of course you know what is right for yourself. There is no general right and wrong in this so-called universe, whatever you want to call it, on this earth. But for you yourself, of course, there is a right and wrong, as in everything that causes pain for you is bad for you, and everything that brings you joy and pleasure is good for you. That's the very best way. It's the easiest way, but it's actually the most correct way to define what's right and wrong, good or bad. Again, for you specifically. Universally, there cannot be, because what's good for you can be horrible for somebody else, but it's just animal nature. That's why we survive by consuming the life of others. That's just the reality that we are in. And of course, it doesn't feel good for the others to be consumed, but that's just purely nature. It's how this life works. Point being, you absolutely know, everybody knows what's right and wrong. It's just that you get told that when you feel bad, it's good for you. As in, eating spinach is good for you, working out is good for you, when you know that it's bad for you because it feels bad. Or you believe that some stuff which I don't even want to talk about on YouTube, which brings you pleasure, is bad for you, even though you know, because it brings you pleasure, that it's actually good for you. That's it. It's just that simple. There's nothing complicated about it. And you know it, but you're lost because you've been brainwashed your whole life. That's why I'm here, to show everybody the truth. That's really the purpose of my existence.
And the next day, I went to my nonna's house, and she told me, she said, I have to tell you something. God gave me a message to tell you, or something like that. And she said to me, there is no other God. Don't give in, because she had known also that I was into spirituality.
Yes, this is actually very interesting, because Christianity, for example, will say that you're not supposed to worship any other gods, anything else essentially, but then naturally you're only supposed to worship nature, especially the sun. That's it. And everybody who follows man-made beliefs, actual man-made opinions, those are the people who are going against nature, God, whatever you want to call it. If you go against the sun, then you're going against the equivalent of God, what you believe God is. If you don't eat raw meat, you're going against nature, creation, God.
And I had been, I would talk about astral projection, and I talk about the universe and in the past years with her. And she just, this one day, the next day after I asked that of God, she told me, I have a message for you, and it's that God says that there is only one God, it is only Him. Don't give in to anyone, other people pretending to be Him or any other powers. There is only one true power, and it's Him. And I don't remember the exact words she said, but I wasn't as startled when she told me.
That's actually a very good point, because if somebody tells you to only worship them, then you know that you're in a so-called cult. Because again, naturally, you should only worship nature, especially the sun. If you get caught into man-made lies, then you're actually the one who's going against the so-called God. It's you. It's literally you.
I really should have been considering this was a direct answer from God, but when you're really connected to God and some really weird,
the only way you can really connect to God is by sun gazing.
Crazy, powerful stuff that should be so outstanding and miraculous, it just feels normal because you're so connected to God. I guess it just feels right. It's in you. And then I've been trying to get closer to God since then. So you guys know I've been trying to read the Bible, and I only started reading the Bible a month or so ago. I don't remember when it was. But I've had that Bible since around this time.
You can tell how lost she is. And again, I'm going to have to link this documentary, which I already linked once or twice before, because it perfectly shows you and explains to you why people who fall for Christianity, for example, must be lost. You must be depressed. You must be at your end, even crying. Maybe you lose somebody who's close to you. You cannot understand why. You must be really just completely lost in life, have no purpose or meaning, to then find God or the so-called Jesus. It's a lot better to find my videos, really. A million times better. The documentary perfectly shows you that the guy who was Christian goes to this natural tribe and realizes that you have to be lost to become Christian. and he quits Christianity, even though he was Christian his whole life. He has a Christian family who all worship Jesus, God, and he just can't, because he realizes that natural people don't do it. They cannot do it because they're not depressed and lost. And he quits it. He has to quit it, of course. It's the only natural conclusion you can come to.
I'm not feeling conflicted with myself. I'm having to undo a lot of old beliefs, kind of, because I genuinely used to think people who believe in Jesus were actually like unintelligent. I was like, you must be just not that smart if you're able to believe in a concept like that. Of course.
But I'm right here. You can literally see me. How can I not be real?
God is real. Of course, the universe is real, but to believe that there is this person who came back to Earth as God, or whatever the story is.
It's not that I believe that I'm God. I'm just here to save humanity and to inform you to go back to nature. That's it.
Nature's doing this. I'm not doing it. Nature's doing it. I'm only nature's boy.
You're lost. You're enslaved. You eat garbage. You don't follow nature in any way at all anymore, which is the only path to happiness. I'm just here to bring you back to happiness and health. That's the only purpose.
I really don't totally understand it because I haven't read the New Testament, and I know I should, and I know that's part of my problem is I need to read it. But as people know, with a relationship with God, a true one can be hard. And
again, Matthew 14:33. Thou shalt not read man-made symbols created by man to get a meaning in your life.
I'm realizing that I was going to make a whole separate video on this. Maybe I still will, but evil is incredibly inconspicuous. And
what you call evil is nature, but the actual evil ones want you to see it as evil because they want you to go against nature.
And insidious. I've been trying, because I was going to make a video on this and I was trying to figure out which word.
When you think about it, that's super fucked up. It couldn't even get much worse.
I want to use, but evil is not as direct as like you think it is. Evil is in very seemingly harmless things that actually are evil, like lust. I want to make a video on lust, and I'm not really sure I'm going to anymore because of it.
Oh my god, lust, literally, your natural sense is telling you to do something. It's a sin. It's evil. Oh no. God created our bodies, but our bodies are wrong. Oh, it's a test. He's trying to trap us. He wants us to read these man-made symbols to understand that our instinct is wrong. We shouldn't listen to our intuition. We need to follow what the man-made symbols tell us. Okay, so our bodies are wrong. What we know is right is wrong, and what is wrong is right. Upside down.
Lust is a sin, and lust is something that I do so strongly. I lust after men a lot, and I've realized it.
Yes, exactly. Your reproductive organs are a sin. God put them inside of there to trick you and to test you. It's not at all you naturally wanting to reproduce. This is exactly what I'm here for, my child. I'm here to save you from you being brainwashed since you were a child. Actually, you were told that reproduction is wrong, that you should protect yourself from it, that you need to wait until man-made marriage, which doesn't exist, even though naturally you marry somebody, so to speak, by having intercourse with them, and then you bond with them for life and create a family with 10 to 20 children. It's literally naturally just your body telling you to reproduce.
Last year, and I've been really working on not doing it, and there's all this evil in the world that isn't so, it's not like inherently evil like murder is, or all those inherently obviously horrible things, but they're evil in the sense that giving into anything other than God is giving into Satan or Lucifer.
Yeah, basically giving into anything other than nature and your natural desires and instinct is like giving into Satan or Lucifer. Yeah, it's Satanism. Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing, by the way, in case you didn't realize it.
or evil or bad, and you're not necessarily maybe harming others, but you're harming yourself by
you're harming yourself,
involving yourself in those practices. This might seem kind of silly, but like being overly indulgent in social media, or whether you're displaying yourself. For example, I was one of those people who was constantly like posting selfies in my early 20s and was really wrapped up in how people perceived me and all that stuff that most 20-year-olds and teenagers are involved in is evil. It's evil because you are giving, and it doesn't seem evil because there's nothing really wrong with it. You're not really hurting anyone, but you're hurting yourself. And by giving your energy into that type of thing is why you become such a sad, miserable, unhappy, painful person, because
it's not that simple. But yeah, she's right, of course. Social media, all the selfies and this self-obsession is evil because there are no mirrors in nature. You pretty much never see yourself in your lifetime. Most people would never see themselves except for maybe very vague images of themselves in water. But even that would usually never happen, seeing as some people hardly even ever come across water, and then it's moving anyway, so you see nothing if it's a river, whatever. That's why social media with all of these devices is even worse, because you see yourself in the phone, then you share these images also, you're always obsessed with yourself. Yeah, it's really bad.
You're putting your energy into something that is designed to make everyone unhappy. And I know I'm not doing a good job at kind of explaining that, but sometimes it's easier to have thoughts in your head than it is to actually rationalize them out loud, unless you like plan it in advance. But there's all these things that I was doing.
It's good. I like these videos which are not cut, just straight up somebody talking. These kind of videos are better. They're more genuine. She is clearly one of my children who is lost because of the enslavement and brainwashing all around her. But this is what I'm here for. I will free you all from these man-made chains which are around you. You don't see them, but you believe that right is wrong and wrong is right. Most of what you believe is upside down. That's exactly how this kind of manipulation of the mind works. It's not only slightly wrong, as in you kinda got it wrong. You believe that cooking blood a little bit is right. No, you actually believe that drinking blood is wrong. It's devilish. Maybe it's even unhealthy. When actually all humans' nature consume raw blood, they feel super happy, they are healthy. People have been lost for thousands of years now, which is why they have been searching for these answers, but it has never been as bad as it is now. Humans today fall for all of the lies because they have no connection to their natural senses, instinct, intuition. They believe that it's all sins. Even all of the so-called non-religious people actually believe this. They just don't realize that they are religious. I'm the only light at the end of the tunnel. You're welcome.